how's it going? My name is Anthony. I own a business called Lifestyle Wealth Insurance Group. I'm an insurance broker. What we provide is property, casualty, life, and health insurance. And so basically, in a nutshell, I just provide protection for individuals and businesses as well. And for me, what I believe mental health is to have clarity in who you are, and what you can become, and just the ability to remain positive no matter what's going on around you.
Hey everybody, it's your man Moses. Welcome to the Bring Your Ass Vodcast right here at Pittsburgh Yards. It's going down today. As you know, we always focusing on wellness. Today's episode, which I think a lot of you are going to love, is about financial wellness, and I have a financial advisor with us, Mr. Tony Bryant.
Hello, this is Tony. How you doing, guys?
Not necessarily related to Kobe somehow, but Mr. Bryant. So,
sure.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate Moses having me here. And today we're going to talk about it from the insurance side of things.
Yeah. We want to make sure that we're prepared mentally and physically with our finances, because if your finances are off, pretty much everything else is going to be off as well. So the key to great wellness is always hitting those elements that are important. So again, recovering financial wellness. Now, some people realize it, some of y'all are catching on, that all these interviews are interactive because I'm coming to you from a fitness standpoint. So today, Tony.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna play with the tires.
Okay.
Real easy stuff.
That's what she said, huh?
Yeah. We're gonna start at the first cone, and we're gonna go all the way down to the other end.
Okay.
It's really only 100 yards.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna flip them down, flip them back. I'm gonna ask you questions throughout the process, so that way we're gonna test your endurance.
For sure.
We're gonna see exactly where we are from a physical, mental wellness standpoint.
Got you.
Along with, again, educating people on what's important with financing.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's get it. Come on, y'all. All right, everybody, it's party time. Starting at the first cone, we're gonna squat and flip. If you're at home, you can actually practice this or do it while we're doing it. You don't necessarily need a tire, but you do have to have the mental fortitude to want to do this. Real easy. You squat down, chest up, and flip, okay? No tire. Up, push, step forward. Squat, up, push, step forward. Got it? All right, Tony.
Yep.
Time to go to work.
All right.
Please note, I might get tired on the way. I might fall down. You keep going.
Okay, please note. I will be tired on the way.
All right, so.
I fall down. We all fall down. Let's do it.
All right, so first question. What are some key factors that contribute to overall wellness in your opinion? And let me start like this. You ready? Let's go.
All right.
So, based on a person's career, based on what they do from a entertainment standpoint,
right?
There's what they do socially, friends, family. Sometimes people can, in my opinion, sometimes people can get caught in a rut. They find themselves being stagnant on what they do.
Right.
What do you do for your extracurricular, social, financial? What do you do to try to maintain your wellness
Well, one
on a
thing,
day-to-day basis?
okay. One thing that I picked up is reading. I read the Bible personally. Me believing who God believes I am and what I can accomplish allows me to have a positive attitude no matter what's going on. On top of that, him always talking about being a good steward over your finances is another thing that I try to emulate the teachings that are within that. Then I go a step further and I read. I read to increase my financial education in this world from different business moguls, because nobody knows everything and nobody ever will, but we can all do our best to be the best versions of ourselves and know what we can do to provide for ourselves and our families. Another thing is, as far as the people around me, I look at that as like preventive care, because whenever you are in a rut, many times you may need those people that are around you to kind of help pick you up. You know, it's good to read the Bible, but it's good to have good, positive people around you that want the best for you, and that also maybe see more in you than you see in yourself at times when you feeling down on yourself and how things may be going, to remind you that you're gonna be all right, and they're there every step of the way.
So, when you say keeping positive people around you, again, now I'm looking at everything from a financial wellness standpoint. Small business owners,
Absolutely.
entrepreneurs,
Absolutely. Most of my friends,
even, hold on,
Okay,
you're gonna love it. Even someone that owns a multi-million-dollar company, there's always been a old school way of doing business, which is you invite people to come over to your house for dinner. You try to get to know them on a personal level, so you can learn a little bit about their work ethic.
right?
And you can't prejudge someone based on how they live, where they live, because everybody's personal situation is different. But that work ethic is what separates a good employee or a good small business owner.
Right.
When trying to build a business, small or large, what advice would you give to someone that new in the game, trying to understand how to run their business, and knowing that every person that you deal with, it's not always going to be actually really focused on the journey of getting better? And what I mean by that is, I have a client, their finances are all the way completely off.
Okay.
But the one thing they're really concerned about is their credit score. They'll rather pay the minimum than do a debt consolidation, reset, and start over. From a financial perspective, what advice would you give to those people out there that had to come out of the pandemic, that the finances changed, their lives got flipped upside down? What advice would you give from a financial standpoint on how they can actually fix what has been broken, not by them, but by the system?
By the system, I mean, that's a good question, because a lot of people were affected directly and indirectly in different industries. I'm assuming that this person, like you said, is financially having to make a sacrifice. They're either going to have to sacrifice the credit score, or they're going to have to sacrifice something else that they may want to desire. I think the first thing I would do in that situation is to really assess all of my expenses and what am I paying for on a monthly basis. Not only what's required of me, such as bills, but what I'm also doing with my money whenever I have leisure time. And from a bill standpoint, see what things that I can remove or possibly switch over to another company to first save money. I think the first way to save money is the things that you no longer need to be paying for. Outside of that, it's finding somebody else that's been in that same situation that you're in currently and that's overcome it.
So how does insurance play a role in that? Because for somebody like me,
Okay.
I just got insurance, life insurance for myself.
Right.
The same time I got life insurance for my mom when I found out she didn't have any. So now we're going on about 5 years
Okay.
of having life insurance. But I know there are strategic ways you can utilize those finances.
Absolutely.
And I think that's another thing that a lot of people are missing is the fact that you have money that can work for you when you, because in some people's mind, you're just paying for yourself to die.
Right.
But instead of thinking as, how can I utilize these funds and still not put myself in a financial detriment?
For sure.
How does that work?
So, life insurance, the key word is life. It's insurance, not only when you die, but it's for the living.
We're going to keep working and talking.
Right, okay. For sure. I thought I could get a little break. But life insurance is for the living. It's a shame that a lot of people don't understand it to be that way. But if you have a basic whole life insurance policy, your monthly premium, a portion of that is going to a cash value account, which from what I've seen lately can accrue about 4% annually on a yearly basis.
Okay.
So when you hear a lot of these podcasts speaking about become your own bank, they're talking about using some form of a life insurance policy to do that, which came to us through the Rockefellers. They use life insurance policies to fund political campaigns, business ideas, purchase real estate, because every year when that cash value account was accruing interest and they were receiving a dividend at the end of the year, they would just reinvest it into their life insurance policy, which gave them a source, a resource that they could borrow at any time that they needed it and didn't have to go through like a qualification process that you would go through with the bank.
Hold up now, Pippin. So what you just said was, I can have a policy.
Yeah.
Every year, it collects interest.
Correct. No matter what the market's doing.
No matter what the market is doing. After about 5-10 years, whatever I have came up on, I can utilize those funds to do something else and still not be penalized.
Exactly.
So I need air in my building.
Because the thing about it is that account that's accruing interest, whenever you're borrowing against your account, like people say, your life insurance policy, the insurance carrier is actually loaning the money based on the cash value that's been built up within the account. So they're not pulling that money from your account and giving it to you. They're giving you a loan so that your money can continue to grow even while you have a loan that you're paying for. And so it doesn't limit the compound interest that your account is building.
That's what I'm talking about. So, and see, this is why I wanted to have you come on the show, because
for sure,
understanding how money works and understanding how the system works. Again, how I view things. it's all based on your wellness.
Okay.
When your financials are well, your mental is well.
True.
When your finances are well, your spiritual is well.
Right.
When your finances are well, your environment is well.
True. Because you can afford it.
And depending upon, what a person's needs and desires are in life.
Uh-huh.
When I was in high school, one of the guys that he took health and physical education with me.
Okay.
Cannot remember his name, but he was a funny dude. He told me, dude, I can't wait to get out of school.
Uh-huh.
I said, why? He said, man, as soon as I turn 18, I'm gonna go get me a job, get married, have me a couple of kids.
Right.
Man, I'm just gonna enjoy life. Boy, go get me a beer. We're going on vacation. That was it for him.
Right.
But then you have some people, okay, so I need an 8-bedroom, 13-bath mansion.
Right.
I need a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, a SUV. Some people's life experience is based on financial gain to live in gaunt.
Uh-huh.
Some people's life experience is about enjoying the moment on an easier, less intruding path.
Right.
It's all about in life what it is that you're looking for. For somebody like yourself,
Uh-huh.
like what are your goals and aspirations, not just for your business,
Uh-huh.
financial standpoint? Because I know you're married,
Right.
got 2 beautiful kids.
Thank you.
Hey y'all!
Hey.
Like 10 years, because I always believe in putting it in the universe.
Right.
Like when you put it in the universe, it actually started to happen.
Uh-huh.
That's what I do. I put it in the universe.
For sure.
So, in 10 years,
Uh-huh.
what would you like your business to really be doing to change a community? And I'm giving you, because y'all know I'm biased.
Right.
Pittsburgh, Adair Park, Capperview, and Capperview Manor.
Uh-huh.
In this particular neighborhood, it lacks jobs.
Right.
It also lacks a lot of education and growth.
Right.
Because it's been so dormant since the riots in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
So our goal for myself is to change how this community grows,
Right.
to make sure it stays within the heritage that it was built on.
Mm-hmm.
Also provide a service to people that didn't think they could afford it,
Right.
or will never come to them.
Mm-hmm.
So from your standpoint, what would you like to, in 10 years, I'm only putting 10 years on it, what would you like your business to be doing? Then, how would you like your family to benefit from that?
Okay, absolutely. So, business-wise, one of the things I would love to do is employ people and just show them that they have an option to make some really good, consistent income if they're willing to work for it without having to do anything illegal and without having a degree. I personally don't have a degree. I knew a family member, my cousin, who had an insurance brokerage, and that was going well for him. And what intrigued me about it was basically being able to protect yourself, your family, as well as others, because insurance covers just about practically everything in the world, And so, from that perspective, I would want my business to have employees, at least 20 to 25 people, whom can realize that they can provide for themselves and their families comfortably, doing something that's productive and that's doing something that's helping the people within their communities, because they'll be the ones that are insuring them. For my family,
Let's go.
I want to have something that if I can show my kids what work ethic is, because since it's my business, I could take them into the office with me. At that time, they'll be around 11 years old, and they can see what it takes to run a business before they're even adults. And I think what that does is it shows the child that they have more options than what's typically shown in our neighborhoods, which is sports and entertainment. It shows them, oh, my father has been able to provide for me for this long. He don't shoot a basketball, he don't catch a football, he don't do none of that.
Right.
And I'm all for it. I love sports, but the fact of the matter is that 99% of us ain't gonna make it there.
Right. There's a cap.
Yeah, there's a cap.
Right. You can only have, a team can only have what? A football team can only have 53 players on the roster.
Yeah.
And then you're looking at office executives. We'll say an organization, low budget football team probably has maybe 100, 200 employees.
Right.
To run the operations. And when you're looking at that type of number, that means employment opportunities are limited.
Very limited.
So you have to find some form of employment that makes sense if you're not gifted, or you don't build a reputation in order to stay in and stay consistent, or you just built good relationships where you can always have a job in that particular field. And I think that's where a lot of people get the misconception of becoming a pro athlete. Being a pro athlete, in my opinion, I love saying that. In my opinion, being a pro athlete means you're a pro in life.
Right.
Because you can't always function as if you're in elementary school. You can't always function like you're in high school. You can't always function like you're in college.
Right.
At some point, you have to turn your life. You have to become a professional in it. So if you're a professional financial wellness advisor, if you're a professional environmental wellness provider, then you found a niche in the market that may be struggling, but then you can change the demographics and how people view it.
Right.
Because a lot of people look at insurance brokers like, oh man, you just want me to buy some life insurance. I really do.
Right.
But the reason I want you to buy it is
I'm tired of people passing away.
Right.
And the family had to put out a GoFundMe because there was nothing in place to pay for the funeral.
Correct.
Which only leads to arguments within the family when you're already dealing with mourning the loss.
Correct.
It's better to just have all these things prepared for before it even comes to this point, so you guys can just focus on mourning and then celebrating the life that individual had. And then the family members that are left over that are affected by this death financially have a check so that they know that they can either stay in the home that they've been living in, or they can pay a few bills, because you never know. A lot of times it may be the breadwinner in the family that's passing away.
Right. Or start a real family business.
Yeah, exactly. Or start a real family business.
And that's why I think a lot of people miss the boat. You can have a full-time regular job. You can work 8 to 4, 9 to 5, 11 to 7, 12 to 8, whatever hours that you work, that's your job. But then, are you comfortable just being an employee, or are you comfortable with your finances?
Right.
Now, if you're comfortable being an employee, comfortable with your finances, all your bills are paid, you're able to kind of do what you want to do, then that's excellent. But how many people are actually living like that?
Not many.
So the goal is, let's take the income that we have or the options that we have to build something that we can invest 3 to 4 hours a day in, or 2 to 3 hours a day in, like a part-time job.
Right.
Expand it, grow it. It could be selling these dang orange cones if you wanted to, because there's always specialty leagues coming up. There's always something that you can find, a niche in the market, and then in 10, 15, 20 years, it may not be in your lifetime, but you set up a game plan for somebody else.
Sure.
So again, that's one of the other reasons why I want you to be here, is to let people know that not just what you're doing for your own self and how you're trying to build your future, but giving tips and ideas, information that they can, change how they're living.
Yeah.
Because finances are very important. They really are.
Yeah, just like to touch on the business side, selling these cones. Everything that we see around us is the form of business. From the brick that's building these apartment buildings or single family homes to these speakers over here, somebody had to begin a business and sell a product for us to be able to play music while we're having this podcast, I mean, I was just at a networking event a few months ago, and I met a gentleman. He actually, the fountain machines, for like the Coke machines, when you go into a restaurant and you push,
Yeah.
and the nozzle sprays out the soda that you select.
Uh-huh.
All he sells are the parts for those machines, and he's making a killing. You know, probably getting paid more than some ex-athlete who had a career of 3 or 4 years and is no longer playing football. I guarantee you his income is way more than theirs because there's more of a need
Right.
for the parts that fix these machines versus these teams have a need for another star player when they only have a limited roster.
Right.
You know?
So always having another stream of income or concept or idea that you can capitalize off of.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna invest in tires.
Absolutely.
I think I'm investing in tires.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, cool. Got one more for you.
Okay.
One more for you.
And there was a second part to that last question too.
It was?
I think so.
I'm not sure if I asked this out here, but we're gonna do it again. How can individuals prioritize self-care in their daily lives? All right, now we asked that out here, didn't we? Or we was under the tent?
I think we did, but
We was under the tent.
I can answer it though. As far as self-care is concerned, I'm not sure if you got family or if you're living on your own or if you have children. I have children. My children require a lot of my time and my wife's time to get them ready for school, make sure that they're fed, help them with their homework and things of that nature. And then on top of that, we have to run our own businesses. We own our own businesses, which takes up a lot of our time and energy. And so a lot of times we may feel like there's not enough time, just as a whole, as a culture, as a people, that there's not enough time to take care of me. There's only enough time to stay on this hamster wheel that we're on. And so what me and my wife has been doing, praise God for Moses over here, who put the battery in our back and gave us the energy to, start to come to Fit Squad Studios. And so we've committed ourselves to coming Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for an hour at a time. Sometimes we're not able to complete the full hour, but we've sanctioned the time to where we know between these two times of the day, 9:30 and 10:30, which the kids are already dropped off, we have time to go work out and make sure that we're taking care of ourselves, because if we aren't healthy, we won't be able to provide anything for our children for very long, because then we'll be dealing with our own health issues at that point. So we're staying healthy so that we can stay energized and we can have fun with our children. We're trying to stay healthy so that we can be here for long enough to where once they become adults and they have children, we can help out with their children as well. And so we have to schedule time for ourselves outside of our children. So not only for ourselves, but even to help the people that are taking time away from us on a daily basis in the future, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
And then at the same time, working out just provides, I think scientifically they said it helps to bring mental focus and clarity. And we've both been noticing ourselves an increase in focus and clarity. I think because once you get rid of those toxins in your body, it allows a lot of just free-flowing positive thoughts to come in. When you're doing something good for yourself, it's kind of like it's a catalyst for everything else in your life.
Gotta love yourself.
Yeah, you gotta love yourself. And then if we don't take care of ourselves, we will get burnt out and probably overreact to something that our kid was doing silly, trying to have fun, and then get physical when it's not even necessary at that moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so self-care preserves yourself so that you can be the best version for yourself, but not only yourself, but also to other people. And if you're not doing the work for yourself, on yourself, then you're not really benefiting society in the best way form that you can. They may only be getting half of you or a quarter of you. So it's important.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, thank y'all again for hanging out with us. Thanks, Tony, for coming in and dropping a little knowledge on us, because
thanks for having me.
We all need it. We all need it. Stay focused. So, join us next week. We're gonna put these tires up. Probably go get something to eat, because you got to have a little protein after you finish working out.
Right.
And It's like 113 degrees out here in the field with no trees.
In Africa, Georgia.
Africa, Georgia. Man. Woo. So tune in next week, right here, Pittsburgh Yards. Bring Your Ass Vodcast. 11 p.m. every Saturday. Thank you.
Bring your ass.